I hope y'all are having a great day, and today I'll be talking about Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, and sequel to Cinder. I read Cinder a couple of years ago and I wasn't extremely impressed by it like a lot of other readers were, but I liked it well enough, and I heard the books got better, which is why I picked up Scarlet. And you guys, it is true. I personally enjoyed Scarlet more than I enjoyed Cinder, even though both are really great books. Going into Scarlet, I didn't remember much of Cinder, but that didn't seem to be a problem. I think Marissa Meyer does a pretty good job of recapping the main points. So while I don't remember the details from Cinder, I remember the main points well enough that it didn't hinder my enjoyment of Scarlet. So while Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella, Scarlet is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. But I'd say both are pretty loose retellings. They're set in the future, there's a crazy plague going on, there's a colony on the moon, and, you know, Cinder, who is one of our protagonists, you know, she's a cyborg. I was surprised to see that Cinder is prevalent in this novel as well. I thought it was just going to be about Scarlet, but in this book we follow Scarlet's storyline as well as Cinder's storyline, and we get to see how they tie into each other. Scarlet broadens the series scope physically as we venture away from New Beijing and focus on France, as well as in the story sense, seeing all these different plot lines and meeting these different characters and seeing how they all come together for this series' main plot. I think these books are entertaining and adventurous. Even though I'd say the writing style is a little bit mediocre, these books are really fun. So if you're into sci-fi or fairy tale retellings or adventure books, I definitely recommend giving this series a try, and don't stop at Cinder. Okay, that's it for the non-spoiler section, so if you haven't read Cinder and Scarlet, I'd advise you to leave now. Right now. Okay, bye. Alright, so I can't help but compare Cinder and Scarlet as protagonists because I like Cinder so much better. I just really like Cinder's character. She's so on point all the freaking time. I love the way she's intelligent and hardworking, and I love how she's a cyborg, so she has these really cool abilities. Scarlet, on the other hand, I thought was really naive and impulsive. It's weird to me that Scarlet is 2 years older than Cinder because Cinder just feels a lot more mature. Cinder is always calm, cool, and collected. Maybe it's because Cinder has had to deal with a lot more in her years than Scarlet has, but there's just something really mature about Cinder's character that Scarlet doesn't possess. What bothered me the most about Scarlet is that she is so stubborn to the extent that it makes her kind of ignorant. I like stubborn characters, but Scarlet was so stubborn that she couldn't even see what was right in front of her. I mean, I understand that she loves her grandmother and cares for her so much, but she wouldn't even consider the possibility that her grandmother might have not told Scarlet everything about her life. It was like she never even thought that her grandmother could have ever kept secrets from her. Like, it's not at all a possibility that there might be a reason behind her grandmother's disappearance. I'm not gonna blame Scarlet, though, for trusting Wolf. 'Cause I did too. Which is really, really dumb of me, looking back on it, considering I went into this knowing that it was a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and the villain of the Little Red Riding Hood is the wolf. The big bad wolf, right? And Marissa Meyer isn't even trying to disguise the fact that Wolf represents the wolf. I mean, his name is Wolf. You can't get any clearer than that. It's so completely transparent. And yet, I still trusted him. So I mean, it was just stupidity, I guess, but I really, really liked Wolf. So the big plot twist about Wolf leading Scarlet to Paris and Wolf still being loyal to his pack and the pack being a bunch of lunar operatives, yeah, that was a plot twist for me. I was completely taken off guard. But it turns out he's not completely a bad guy, so that's good, right? I thought Wolf was just really, really cute around Scarlet. I thought it was hilarious when Scarlet gave Wolf a kiss on the cheek, and then when he jumped, he lost his balance, because, you know, he was still thinking about it. It was dangerous and hilarious, but cute. And at the end, when they were talking about alpha females, I thought that was kind of cute, too. I mean, admittedly, it was really, really sudden. Like, they haven't known each other for a long time, so to be talking about that with such intensity was too soon to be comfortably believable, but I still ship them. Next, I want to talk about Cinder and Thorn because they're hilarious. Cinder is so sassy, and so is Thorn. But Thorne has that kind of I'm awesome and I know it sense of humor, and at first it didn't sit well with me, but eventually I warmed up to him. He was just so much fun to read about. His conversations with Cinder were just so funny. My favorite is on page 89. Cinder's like, tell me you recognize something. Yeah, I do. I haven't been here in a while. Think faster. We aren't exactly blending in with our surroundings out here. Okay, this way. No, this way. We're dead. No, I've got it now. It's this way. Don't you have an address? A captain always knows where his ship is. It's like a psychic bond. If only we had a captain here. If only we had a captain here. Oh, Cinder, you sassy pants. At first, I was just really annoyed with Thorne because he was so useless. I was thinking that he was the most useless character since Jason Grace. Just kidding. I like Jason Grace. He has his moments. But in the beginning, it was seriously like Cinder had to pull both of their weights all the time. But yeah, eventually Thorne was someone I ended up liking a lot, even though he was a little bit slow. Like, he couldn't figure out on his own that Cinder was Princess Celine, which is something I think all readers figured out the moment Princess Celine was talked about in the first book, in Cinder. But it's okay, because he's funny and cute, and I thought he and Cinder ended up making a pretty good team. Oh, and I loved Aiko's return. She's so cute and funny. My favorite section of the book was definitely like the last quarter. That's when the action was at its peak and everything was so exciting. At that point, I could not put the book down. Everything was so fast-paced and I wanted to know what had happened. And once Cinder and Scarlet finally met, it was like this explosion of awesome and exciting and crazy, and I loved it. Going back a little to when Cinder was talking to her grandmother, but it turns out that her grandmother is just an illusion that Rand was projecting. But her grandmother says, "They can't control me, Scarlet. He has the lunar gift, but it doesn't work on me." All I could think about was Divergent. They can't control me, Scarlet. It doesn't work on me. Isn't to anyone else, please, anyone else. It reminded me of Tori when she's like, the test didn't work on you. They call it Divergent. Yeah? Yeah? No? Okay. Oh, I haven't mentioned Kai. Okay, so if we're being honest, I wasn't a big fan of Kai and Cinder. I thought he was polite and gentlemanly, which is great, but I didn't feel anything for him. I didn't feel that spark, I didn't have that intrigue, but I definitely liked him a lot better in Scarlet, which is strange because we don't even see that much of him in this book. Maybe it's because we get to see through his point of view sometimes, maybe it's because we get to see inside his mind, but then again, we could have had that in Cinder. I don't remember Cinder, honestly. I really liked Kai in this book. I see his appeal now. I wish he wasn't stupid enough to agree to marry Queen Lavanna, though. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but nothing associated with Queen Lavanna will ever have a positive outcome. I just need Cinder to save him in the next book because this marriage is not happening. I wish we had more world building in this series. Like, we have a futuristic setting, and we do have really cool technology. Like, first we have Cinder's cyborg parts, and we see in this book that secret lair that Scarlet's grandmother was hiding with all the technology and creating these parts and having that big tank where they could stay alive but not conscious. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, and I also really liked the trains that Scarlet and Wolf rode in this book because they were like moving hotels. They had like their private rooms and they had bars, and it was crazy. I liked it. But I want to know more about the government and Earth, and especially the moon. Like, I know Marissa Meyer has the history of the Lunars and how that colony came to be on her website, but I wonder if she's ever going to incorporate that into the actual books, because I really want to know more about Luna. And I'm wondering if she's relying on the readers to go to her website and read about the history and research on their own time instead of actually incorporating it into the story. I really hope that she puts the history and more world building in the actual books. I just really hope that we get more history and world building in the next books, but even if we don't, I still think the series is pretty great. I enjoyed Scarlet quite a lot more than I enjoyed Cinder. Scarlet was a lot more action-packed, I think. It was more exciting, and I just really like the way this series is unfolding. I love meeting these different characters and their different storylines and gradually discovering how they all connect to one another. It's really neat and well crafted. Marissa Meyer is definitely weaving together a really exciting and impressive series with the Lunar Chronicles, and it has me so pumped for Cress. Tell me your thoughts on Scarlet. I would love to know. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day and happy reading. Goodbye! Okay, that's it for the non-spoilery section. This happens in every video now. Thank you.